So what were the results of our balloon launch? Here's the actual footage captured by the camera. Remember, this video was shot in 360 degrees, but we can only show you one angle at a time. What we see certainly appears to show the curvature of the Earth. But again, many in the flat Earth movement will cry out that it was a fisheye lens. Yet, this camera doesn't utilize just one lens. It was comprised of a spherical array of 6 lenses, which capture a 360-degree equirectangular panorama. You may see some distortion due to the lens. Therefore, since we want to present an airtight case, we're not putting forth this video as evidence for the curvature of the Earth. Now we'll rotate the camera angle upward to catch the amazing moment when the balloon burst, and the camera started its free fall back to Earth as the parachute deployed, delivering it to the place we found it at the ranch in Switzerland Township. Remember, the purpose of our experiment was to determine if we could capture evidence of drop-off due to curvature. If the Earth were flat, there shouldn't be any at all. As the balloon rises, the horizon would continue to stay absolute dead center in the middle of the image. In other words, there would be equal amounts of ground and sky, regardless of the altitude. However, in a spherical Earth model, as the balloon rises in altitude, the horizon would move downward to show more sky than ground, revealing drop-away, indicating that the Earth is curving downward. By the way, this is a claim made again and again by flat earthers, that the horizon rises to meet your eye. But the problem is that most of us never get high enough to be able to test this idea. The Earth is so huge that we'd have to go so far up that it's not really possible. And even then, the drop-off would be so slight that we probably wouldn't notice it. But with our experiment, if there really is drop-off, our 8K camera could clearly catch it by comparing a photo taken at low altitude and then comparing it to one at the peak of flight. There are 3 different ways the altitude of a balloon can be determined: a system based on GPS, the ascent rate and time, and finally, triangulating from known objects on the ground. Any one of these can independently determine the height of a balloon. Unfortunately, during our flight, the GPS-based system failed to work, so the height was instead confirmed by Victor's team using triangulation. It turned out to be roughly 120,120 feet, or 22.75 miles. Remember, if the Earth is flat, the horizon should stay exactly in the center of the frame. We basically see that in this picture caught at roughly 4,000 feet. Notice that the horizon is in the dead center, but because it comes from a 360-degree image, all the distortion is pushed into the top and bottom of the image. Now look at this image taken at our peak altitude of 22.75 miles. When we compare the two, we can easily see drop-away. There's more sky on the right of the picture than the left. As the balloon increases in height, the horizon was dropping further and further away, so the horizon doesn't rise to meet your eye, like claimed by those in the flat Earth movement. So the experiment failed to prove the flat Earth model, but how do the results compare to the round Earth idea? Based on the known circumference, we'd predict that the horizon would be at a 6.1 degree angle from center at the balloon's maximum height. That angle would equal 45 miles of drop-away if the Earth is about 25,000 miles in circumference. So what do we discover? The drop-away can actually be measured by using this image to count the number of pixels above and below the horizon on both pictures. When the team did this, they determined the horizon was at an angle of 5.9 degrees, which equals 44 miles of drop-away. These numbers aren't exactly what we had predicted, but it's within 3.9% of error, which isn't bad. We believe the numbers can vary a bit because it's hard to tell the line between the horizon and the cloud cover above. So Victor and his team experimentally disproved the flat Earth meme that the horizon rises to meet your eye, and successfully confirmed the curvature of the Earth. Again, this is an experiment that's never been done before. While flat earthers may still call out fisheye, which isn't even relevant to this experiment, it used a method based on actual numbers and measurements. And it delivers a serious blow to those that believe the Earth is flat.